Last weekend was the anniversary of that devastating tsunami in Japan. And as many of you might know, I spent the week traveling. It's pretty much a 100-mile stretch of coastline in Japan. We talked to tsunami survivors and saw how much has changed over the years, which frankly is not very much. And I heard a lot of stories of sadness, survival, and resilience.
Crumpled cars stacked and numbered. Buildings still standing but worthless. Boats resting in unlikely places. A lone pine where once there was a centuries-old forest. And mountains of debris here, seemingly everywhere. The images from the Tohoku region of Japan are stunning, perhaps more so now that a year has passed and reconstruction seems so limited. In Rikuzen, Takata, when the tsunami sirens rang, residents were told to come to City Hall. A year later, they came again, but this time to remember the dead. Rikuzen, Takata lost as many as a third of its 26,000 residents. Hundreds died right here, including 7 friends of Chiba-san.
It's hard to accept, but still, we cannot just stay feeling low and depressed. We have to step by step move forward.
Testament to how high the water rose, a coat hangs from what was the ceiling. Over here, a scarf, and inside the gym, 2 cars. The clock stopped at 3:30, the moment the giant wave rose up and filled this building. Down the coast in Minami Sanriku, people came by the busload to lay flowers at the skeleton of the town hall. Here, 25-year-old city worker Miki Endo stayed at her post on the 2nd floor to warn residents via loudspeaker to get to higher ground. As the water came toward her, she huddled with 30 others on the roof. The tsunami swept over the building, taking her and 20 others to their deaths. Across the now cleared field, Jun Suzuki cleared tables at his cafe built after the tsunami. He vowed not to be among those commemorating the anniversary. He says for him, the tsunami is every day.
Everyone I think who live here, no doubt they lost someone that they know.
A day after the anniversary, workers still sift through debris in this tiny fishing village outside Ofunato. Not far away, Miyuki Kono explains what she did to escape the tsunami.
The wave was coming to my chest level, so no, not this way. Then I entered the stairs with my arms and hands. I climbed up the stairs that was calmed down. Then there was a little window, so I jumped, and then I decided to go up on the roof.
Her inn was back in business just 2 months after the tsunami, and thanks to the workers nearby, busier than ever. So many stories from Tohoku. Stay tuned.
Yeah, that last scene there was just one of the many commemoration ceremonies that took place on Sunday. Some of them were just achingly beautiful with candles and paper lanterns. They launched paper lanterns into the ocean, you know, as an homage to the dead.
Mountains of debris.
It's crazy.
Are striking.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And part of the reason why the cleanup took so long is, if you think about it, everything that was swept away by the tsunami, houses, cars, personal belongings, and people. So as the water receded and wound up back in the ports or back in the ocean, essentially, when they went to go take it out and try to look for people, they had to be very careful. So they would go in there, they would pull stuff out, they would look for people. And there are still thousands of people who are unaccounted for. So it's very sad. And there are a lot of stories that I hope to be able to put together and tell you about, including like how people are surviving now. A lot of people still are not in homes per se. They're in temporary homes.
They're
like a shipping container that has been retrofitted to include, you know, a stove here or whatever. Or
it doesn't seem like it's going to change anytime soon.
It's slow, and as you pointed out in one of our phone conversations, that some of the planning, a lot of it didn't start until like 10 months in. Yeah, so, you know, and then again, there's a lot of geological things that they have to figure out as well, because land masses parts of the city have just dropped. Now what do? Do you raise them up? Do you fill it in?
So they can't just rebuild where they were in a lot of places.
It's not as easy as you would think. You would think clean up the debris and start to rebuild. If you're already there and you're somewhat functional and the you know, house hasn't been red tagged, they don't red tag, but you know, with that in mind, you can remodel and you can refurbish. But other than that, everybody's got to just take it down and wait for the government to say, yes, you can. That's why a lot of the buildings are still up, though, because the owners have just said,
just walk away.
I'm just walking.